Hi, friends. Happy Tuesday. It's our Dream Team chat. And today we are talking about assuming in your Scentsy business. Okay, guys, this topic actually is really eye opening as I started thinking about what this training looks like and what to share. I began realizing that the amount of missed opportunity out there among just humans in general, not even just inside of Scentsy, but just in general, the amount of missed opportunities out in this world because of assumptions about a person or a situation or an opportunity really stops us in our tracks from making traction and achieving goals and having like milestone events happen, right? Because oftentimes we will assume something of someone or a situation. And of course, those are our feelings being reflected and not necessarily the recipient of this opportunity. And so when I was diving into some content for this training, I actually stumbled upon a thread where other leaders in Scentsy were sharing ways that they assumed in their business and how that came to kind of like bite them in the butt, right? They had to learn a tough lesson from assuming in their business in this way. And so I wanted to read some of the comments on here and just kind of chat about them with you guys and really just show you guys the different types of opportunities that are available out there if we put those assumptions to the side and instead utilize these opportunities with the things that we've talked about, with being prepared, right? With being intentional about building connections and offering things, right? And so if we can recognize that these assumptions stop us, then we can put some intention on focusing more on those results without the assumptions. Okay. So I wanted to read some of these to you. And if you can relate to any of these, or if you have something to add after I'm reading these, I would love to see in the chat if you guys maybe have an assumption that you've made, or if when I'm reading one of these, you can relate. Okay. Um, Okay, so someone said, last week I had a customer who always spends very little every time she orders. She reached out about the air purifier. She bought the air purifier and started an $80 Scentsy Club. I had a list of people I would reach out to about the purifier when it came out, and I didn't put her on it because she always spends such a small amount. I could have sold it to her sooner, which I think is awesome, which I felt the same way about air purifiers because they have a high price tag, right? But you never know. You never know if you don't ask, right? And sometimes specifically with asking, like not just advertising it, right? But asking, it seems nerve-wracking, right? Especially if maybe they're only buying a 6 pack of bars every so often. Why would they be interested in an air purifier? However, we never know if we don't ask, and customers are always going to go towards the ease of ordering, right? And so if you're asking, that makes it easier for your customers to start that conversation with you. So I love that. Okay. Someone says booking parties. I assumed so many people would not be interested in booking a party when I first started out. I went almost 5 years without asking my close family and friends to host a party for me. I assumed they would say no. My upline did a booking blitz and I made a list of people that I'd never asked before. My aunt, who was always supportive of anything I ever did when I was younger, was on my list. She knew that I did this business and never asked me about it. So during the blitz, I called her and asked her if she'd be interested in hosting a party for me. She said, I thought you would never ask. She had been waiting for me to ask her because she figured I was too busy or wasn't interested in doing parties. She didn't want to bother me because she thought I was too busy or just not interested. So lesson learned is to never assume someone is going to say no and ask them anyways. 5 years of doing this business and all I needed to do was ask. I know for me, the fear of rejection held me back because I had already had it in my head of what the outcome was going to be before even trying. Wow, right? I think a lot of us can probably relate to that because we feel nervous to ask, especially about something maybe bigger like a party. Okay. But you're only one party away from completely changing your business. And that is true. It is true. You only need one super successful party to completely change the way your business looks. So do not be afraid to ask. Do a booking blitz with yourself. Write down a list of people, 10, 15, 20. Ask more, right? Ask a lot of people because a lot of them will not reply or a lot of them will say no. So if you ask 20, you might book 2 or 3, maybe 4 parties. And that is a huge win. But you have to ask, okay? Someone said, I didn't ask a customer to join because she is super busy with kids, sports, etc. There was no way she would join. But she ended up joining under someone else's team and then came to me to ask her for help with her business. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. For me personally, I never like to leave that stone unturned. To me, I love to ask my customers if they've thought about joining. I would rather hear the word no than have that situation happen to me. Okay. So I would recommend the same for you guys as well. I'd rather hear no from my customers and then continue to build our relationship than to have them join under someone else. Okay. Someone else said, I had a customer who ordered a couple times a year. Never crossed my mind to ask her to join because she would only order maybe 2 times a year and maybe just a 6 pack of wax at a time. Well, someone did ask her, and now she's a superstar consultant on her way to becoming a director. Wow, that's incredible. And, it's so true because one person can completely change the direction of your business, right? And so you have to ask because you might be missing those amazing business changing opportunities just by simply not asking. Okay. This one says, this didn't necessarily come back to bite me, but I could have lost sales. I used to remove people from my check in list if they hadn't ordered from me in 2 years. I assumed if they went that long, they were not using Scentsy anymore. I then learned from others to keep them on the list until they ask to be removed. Since then, I've had people order who haven't ordered in 3, 4, even 5 or 6 years after their last order. I had one last week place an order of over $100 who had never purchased before, but she's been on my email list from an event I did in 2017. That's crazy. That's amazing. And I actually heard the same thing, like keep following up until um, they ask to be removed, taken off your list. And I too have had customers come back years and years and years later. I literally just last month had a customer come back from when I first joined in 2015. Started writing the thank you note and I was like, oh my gosh, this name looks familiar. And so I went to my contacts tab and saw that they were in like probably my first 3 months of ordering when I first joined in 2015. And they had come back, I'm assuming from an email that I have sent in December. So I think that's really awesome. People, again, go for ease of ordering. So sometimes if you're not checking in or if timing isn't right, it's not going to happen. But then that one time that you do check in with the link for them to shop and information that's valuable to them, then the timing will be good. So I love that tip. And I think that's super amazing. Okay, let's see. Are we liking these? Are these eye opening for you guys? I hope that they are. Someone said, one of my very first orders, and I didn't know what I was doing yet. I got I got 2 orders from one and one from her friend. It equaled over 200. I didn't even think of placing it as a party as none of them were a host. And I wish I had. I think they would still be a customer now if I did. Hmm. Love that. I also did not used to offer the party if my customers gave me big orders. I would just take the big orders because I was excited for the host rewards. I was excited for the host rewards that I would get. And so I've had to, over the last maybe 4 years or so, really shift, right? Point those arrows outwards and remind myself that every time I take amazing care of my customers, they're falling more in love with my business and with me, and they're going to give me more referrals and more, they're going to trust me more, and I'm bringing them value, literally value by saving money, but also value shopping with me and getting all these perks and the special treatment, right? And so I love that. Love that so much. Someone said, I had a customer one time join another consultant. When I found out, I asked her why she didn't tell me she was interested in joining. She told me I never asked her. Never assume someone doesn't want to join you. Always ask. Yeah, for sure. I assumed I could become complacent about doing fun mail for my PWS orders. And boy, has that bitten me in the butt. My PWS orders have dropped so much. And so this one to me speaks to consistency, finding something you can commit to. Um, because certainly my customers love their fun mail. And if I stop doing fun mail, I do imagine that that reward for shopping online, um, if they don't have that anymore, maybe it wouldn't be as appealing, right? It's not a risk I'm willing to take personally because I feel like if it's working well, you rock with it. So I love that. I met someone at an event while setting up my table. I kept thinking she's not going to buy anything. Guess what? She was my biggest sale. The person you least expect to purchase will definitely surprise you. Yep, I think so. I didn't ask an amazing customer to join because she was so successful in another direct sales business, so I wrote it off. Someone else asked her. She said yes, and now she's a director. Dang. So a lot of these is about joining or about joining. Um, so just a reminder, you guys, that this business opportunity is true and it's real, and we hold that opportunity in our hand and it's ours to offer. Okay. And so don't forget to offer it. Don't forget to ask. Okay. Someone said, in my first year as a consultant 12 years ago, I assumed someone buying from me would pick me if they joined. Someone I had just given some freebies to with a large order went to Scentsy.com and joined under a random consultant. I had never asked her. Lesson learned. Here's a good one. When the Stitch collection launched, I didn't share or advertise it much as I normally do. In my opinion, Stitch was a thing of the past, never really a big deal when the movie released or since, and it wasn't one of my favorite Disney movies. I had like 5 people messaging me wanting the warmers and asking why I never shared. They sent me screenshots where other consultants shared but came to buy from me since I was their consultant. And then seeing people looking for the stitch warmer. Then I see people looking for the stitch warmer all the time in search of groups. So moral of the story is just because you don't care for something doesn't mean you shouldn't share. I now will throw in, this isn't my personal favorite, but I know several of you will love this, and my customers appreciate the honesty and realness. Someone said, I love this one. Market to men and don't just market manly scents. One of my best customers is a man. He especially loves fall and winter scents. And when he buys it, he spends about $200 at a time. And it's for him. He's not married, but he loves his home to smell good. Which is so fun. Okay, here's just a few more. Someone said, my husband told me one of his coworkers wouldn't be interested in joining my team because she's too busy. So I didn't pursue asking her. Like a week later, she joined another company. It was a told you so moment for me to my husband, and also a realization to me to still ask everyone anyways. I had a hunch and I should have gone for it regardless. Someone said, for years, I just assumed everyone was broke like us after Christmas, so I didn't push hard until mid-January, which, wow, that's eye-opening, right? Okay, and then here's the last one that I'm going to share. Someone says, when I first started doing Scentsy parties as a host, I did really well with them. I was broke and needed those rewards for Christmas, birthday gifts, that I couldn't have afforded otherwise. My consultant never once brought up joining. She just assumed if I wanted to, then I'd ask her. But I actually had no idea at the time that what joining involved or meant. And had I known that those parties I was doing could have earned me money too, I would have joined a full 2 years before I actually did. And she would have had a director on her team. Whoa, right? So, a lot of different situations and examples of where assuming in your business, right? Mostly based on our own beliefs or our guts, assuming in our business really prevents us from growing and seizing these opportunities that are right in front of you guys. And so, I want to encourage you guys as you walk through your everyday life with your business, right? With your focus being on consistency and being intentional. Okay, because I feel like those two traits really set you up for success, right? But also utilizing every opportunity that you have in front of you to build and grow your business to the next step. And a lot of it is just simply asking questions. And asking questions is a really powerful thing because you are prompting a reply, you're prompting the conversation to go further. And by asking questions, you're able to help solve problems or help clarify uh conversation or help clarify things that people are confused about, right? And so just by simply utilizing the opportunities in front of you, asking, having those follow-up conversations, right? Offering the opportunity that we have to host or join or Scentsy Club or XYZ, right? Offering those things opens you up and it kind of silences those assumptions because you're acting on um these business tasks. You're doing it from a business mindset, right? So I just want you guys to think about that as you move forward in your business, especially this year. If you put those assumptions to the side for an entire year, imagine what your business could look like this time next year, right? When you don't assume that someone doesn't want to join, where you don't assume that they don't have enough money, right? And you just simply ask and you utilize the solutions that our opportunities provide. I think amazing things could happen in your business.